Hello again, this is Sam Houston, and welcome to My Front Porch. Hard work and dedication results in freedom. Back in 1973, I purchased my very first automobile. I'd worked for 3 summers mowing yards, raking leaves, and performing all sorts of other odd jobs. I saved my money so when I turned 16, I could purchase my dream. My folks were hardworking people who believed in earning your own way, and the thought of them purchasing a car for me was never on the table. I'm sure the idea didn't even cross their mind. It was beyond their financial means, but more importantly, it was in their DNA to teach me to work, to earn and accept that life was not going to give me anything. I had to go forth and earn those things I wanted. The work part came naturally. From watching my grandparents and my folks, I had long witnessed that work was part of life, and as Granddad would say, if you're going to kill time, work it to death. On the farm, there was always something which needed to be done. Whether it was hauling hay, picking the garden, or doing a host of other tasks, sitting by idly was simply not an option. Wages in 1973 were quite a bit less than what they were nowadays. I might get $5 for mowing a rather large yard, or $3 or $4 for shoveling the snow off a driveway. When I worked by the hour, my rate of pay was the princely sum of $1.60 an hour. It took a whole lot of work to save up $100, and I specifically remember when I managed to finally earn enough to have 5 $20 bills, I went to the bank and changed them in for a $100 bill. Something about looking at that $100 bill made me feel like I'd really accomplished something. I was determined to save $600. For that amount, I figured I could find a used car which was still drivable, which would get me to school and back, to an occasional ball game, and out on a date. Since these were pre-internet days, I spent a great deal of time wading through the newspaper each day, pricing used auto and fantasizing what my future ride might look like. I would picture myself whipping through the local drive-in and getting a Coke with the radio playing and the windows down so the wind would whip through the cabin. I imagined driving over to my girlfriend's house and her parents being impressed that I was so responsible and hardworking that I'd managed to buy myself a car. There were going to be a lot of advantages to having a car. When my birthday came, I had the money in hand and found that first vehicle. It was a 1965 Ford Fairlane, faded blue in color and had some well-worn blue vinyl seats. It started, well, at least most of the time, and was anything but a race car. It had a straight 6 engine, and its top speed was probably 75, though I never tried to find out, fearing that the engine might blow up. It had 4 doors, which certainly took away from any cool factor, and it was not much to look at, but she was mine. I had worked for every penny to buy her. When I looked at Old Blue, I felt a sense of accomplishment and pride. I'd set a goal, and I made it happen. I'd worked, hustled jobs, saved money, and deprived myself of purchases to keep my cash and meet my goal. My folks had a glow of pride about them when they saw me in my ride. No feeling will ever surpass that rush of freedom and independence I felt when I drove her down the highway, listening to AM radio, singing away with Marvin Gaye or the Temptations. This past week, I bought a new vehicle. I earned every penny to pay for it. But just like with the 65 Fairlane, it cost me 100 times more money. Yet I didn't have the same sense of pride or satisfaction. I knew the new truck I purchased was very nice, but it was just another vehicle in a long list of vehicles I'd bought in my life. The joy of that first purchase had long since passed. But the recent purchase did take me back to that first car and allow my brain to reflect about Old Blue. The adventures the two of us had and the sense of accomplishment I experienced. I hope my 9-month-old grandson gets the experience the same way I did when he's 16. It's a feeling that served me well in my life, and I'm sure it'll serve him well too. It might be the greatest gift I will ever give him. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for what you didn't give me. Thought for the day. The road stretched out like canvas, and I became the artist of my own journey. It was freedom and responsibility, all rolled into one 2-door sedan. J.T. Schwab. Until next time, I'll keep riding the storm out.
You've been listening to From My Front Porch with Sam Houston, brought to you by the Granbury Theater Company. You can catch Sam's column every week in the print edition of the Hood County News or online at hcnews.com.